We consider awareness of our mind and its patterns to be an integral part of Qigong as well. Mental patterns play an important role in Qigong practice as our thinking impacts Qi and body awareness. Psychological patterns of belief can block the flow of Qi or amplify it. Therefore, we include the practice of internal investigation or self-investigation into our Qigong practices. Through self-examination, we can consciously clear destructive and emotional patterns that negatively affect our mind and body so that we can experience improved health and well-being. The first step is to become aware of unwanted mental and emotional patterns that we may be holding. Ko-Wu is the art of self-investigation. The practice of Ko-Wu has roots in Confucianism, and it's based on references from a 13th century Chinese philosopher. Ko-Wu is described as being the investigation into things both externally and within oneself, along with quiet stillness and reflection to collect one's thoughts and to discover one's innate nature. So Ko-Wu is about self-examination, where we truly examine what is going on with ourselves internally, our internal beliefs, and the reality of various issues. We have to be in a calm state so we can investigate what is actually occurring internally, free from emotional impulses. And then we question our reasoning and our assessments to see if they're actually true. Okay, so the first step of Ko-Wu is to remain calm. When becoming aware of our conditioned mental patterns, the first step in Ko-Wu is to calmly and neutrally identify emotional responses that occur within us. Whenever anything occurs that triggers an emotional response, it becomes an opportunity for Ko-Wu practice or self-investigation. In order to investigate ourselves from a broad perspective, a relative amount of composure is needed to evaluate what is really going on. Whenever a disturbing feeling or intense situation arises, it becomes important for us to meditatively investigate the reality of the issue. Remaining calm is thus a prerequisite for neutrally investigating mental and emotional patterns so that we can be free from conditioned impulses. Remaining calm doesn't mean that we deny or suppress our emotions. We simply want to maintain enough composure in any given situation so that we may understand the true rationale that is occurring beyond what our conditioned beliefs may be telling us. Okay, now let's look at an example of Ko-Wu at work. And remember, this is just an example and they don't necessarily apply to everybody's method of self-investigation. Each person must discover their own process of Ko-Wu. In this example here, a person says, "I'm upset because I lost the basketball game." Okay, so we call this a low-level self-investigation because the person didn't investigate deeply. They were just operating on a conditioned mental pattern where when the basketball game is lost, immediately they feel sad. So basically there's a program going on here. Why did this make me upset? Because we didn't win the game. So now this person calms his emotional mind a little to reflect on the situation with deeper self-investigation. It is my belief that winning the ball game makes me happy and losing the ball game makes me sad. And then in a moment of clarity and even deeper self-investigation, he realizes, my happiness does not depend on winning the ball game. I can remain happy even if the game is lost by remembering not to play out this role. So even though this is a very basic example, it displays a balance between emotions and rationality to investigate the reality of a situation. This balance between emotions and rationality as a method to remain calm is based on the Taoist concept of the heart mind and the wisdom mind. The heart mind provides emotional input, and the wisdom mind tempers the feelings that arise through assessing the reality of a situation. Between the heart mind and the wisdom mind, we form patterns of belief and ways of reacting. The heart mind and the wisdom mind can work together mutually in a yin-yang fashion, balancing mental, emotional, and environmental information that we receive. Then we can calmly process thoughts and emotions from the heart mind with the wisdom mind to bring balanced judgment regarding beliefs about ourself and reality in general. Ko-Wu Step 2. Do not take anything personally. Depending on the response we receive from somebody, we may have an emotional reaction that causes us to feel disempowered. We may become disempowered because we allow another to affect how we react. For this reason, we can learn not to take anything personally. Whatever another person says is only based on their perception of us. We can listen to another with our wisdom mind and neutrally evaluate what is relayed to us. Even if another's words criticize or assess our character are in fact true, we can still remain at peace because we can process that information on our own in a non-shaming, non-judgmental place, which is loving and neutral. If we're in a calm and relatively neutral place, we can assess another's words accurately. Okay, let's look at Ko-Wu investigation example number 2. A stranger made me angry. Again, this is just an example. We're not trying to show how to investigate emotional issues. We're only showing that there may be deeper and deeper levels of self-investigation required to really get to the core of an issue. This is low-level self-investigation. Why did the stranger make me angry? Because he insulted me with rude behavior. Here this person realized that they took this issue personally, yet they did not deeply investigate their reactions. Deeper self-investigation. It hurt to experience someone being judgmental and uncaring. My response to this was anger. So here this person realized that they react whenever they perceive someone as judgmental, uncaring, or rude, and their conditioned mental pattern is anger. This person felt that they were at the mercy of anyone who displayed such qualities toward them. So now, realization through even deeper self-investigation. This anger is carried in my heart and I don't want to hold on to it. I will express or release my pain of the situation to caring friends or family. I'll find a way to become free from a conditioned response to people who behave in hurtful ways so that I do not allow such circumstances to have power over my emotions. So after finding a way to release the pain of reaction to the situation, the person realized that they could learn to be free of a conditioned response if confronted with a similar situation again, and even possibly learn to avoid being subject to another's opinions or words by not taking them personally. You may have also witnessed highly public figures who have lived a life full of criticism, opposition, and who have regularly received abusive comments towards them. At some point, these people had realized that others simply have different opinions and beliefs, and that rather than be offended by those who are abusive, they simply realized that whatever was relayed to them by another was based on their state of mind and their beliefs. Such public figures could only be centered when they did not take anything personally. Ko-Wu Step 3. Become aware of self-esteem issues. After we've learned to calmly investigate a given event, We can also become aware of what beliefs and conditional thinking is occurring that impact our sense of self-esteem. Whenever a challenging situation arises that appears to be a threat to our sense of self-worth, we can neutrally evaluate our mental patterns. Our ingrained patterns may play a mental recording that criticizes, condemns, shames, or rejects. During a challenging situation, we can investigate the reality of our self-beliefs by assessing why we felt inadequate. Okay, let's look at our last example displaying how someone processed their feelings of low self-esteem. Co-woo investigation example 3. My job makes me feel like a failure. Again, this is minimal self-investigation. Why does my job make me feel like a failure? Because the tasks I'm asked to do are demeaning and my boss treats me very poorly. Okay, let's look a little bit deeper. Deeper self-investigation. I do not feel valued when I'm asked to do demeaning tasks. I feel low and unworthy when I'm treated poorly by my boss. Here the person realized that they want to feel valued, and when they're treated poorly, their self-worth diminishes. Okay, so now we go into realization through even deeper self-investigation. Events at my job trigger a low sense of self-worth. I must learn that my self-worth is not equated with my tasks on this job, nor how I'm being treated. I must express to my boss how I've been treated, or maybe I must find another job. Yet still, I realize that I'm responsible for my self-worth. So after we have done our self-investigation or co-woo, we go to the final steps. Co-woo, step 4, forgiveness of self and others. It's especially important in the process of co-woo to surrender judgment and condemnation so that we can clear our blockages without the hindrance of pain or guilt. An error in life can be painful enough in itself, and self-condemnation brings added guilt that does not serve a purpose. Therefore, we should forgive ourselves and move on. We can also forgive others as well, so we can avoid clinging to pain and suffering, which will harden our heart. With a hardened heart, we cannot look into our own heart and investigate the truth. In Qigong practice, it's understood that we hold emotions in our bodily organs, and we can cleanse these destructive emotions that are held there. In the same way, forgiving ourselves and others is a way for releasing and healing ourselves. Co-woo, step 5, the daily review. The first thing to recognize is emotional discomfort. Discomfort from experiences of the day may be denied and buried in the subconscious, causing energetic blocks based on unresolved issues. However, if we consciously become aware of feelings from experiences that have occurred, then we can address where the heart is troubled. First, we must quiet our heart. If the heart is disturbed, the mind cannot calmly resolve pain and fear. To be truly calm, the heart must be at peace. It is necessary for the heart to become quiet and still, and to find a place of calm amidst the emotions. We can then speak to our heart and ask ourselves, what is it that upsets my heart today? Simply listening to the heart for a few minutes alone may resolve many issues. It's important to truly listen to what our heart is saying. After listening to what our heart says, we then simply request our heart to remain calm in the face of what is revealed. The heart may recall numerous emotions, yet we stay in a lovingly calm place because we want to learn from our experiences and not react to them. Develop a gentle understanding. Once we are aware of what upsets the heart, We can then receive its pain or discomfort with gentle understanding. We listen to our heart as if caring for a child we genuinely love, overriding the harsh critic within that may criticize what our heart is expressing. During the daily review, we may also realize that we have caused pain or harm to another. After such realizations, we then make amends towards ourselves or others in a way that offers a positive change. We can put a heartfelt plan into action and expect natural consequences for our actions in order to change future behaviors and patterns. Kowu Step 6. Bring our original nature into daily life. Our original nature is who we truly are outside of what we overlay upon ourselves. All facets of Kowu process relate to finding our true or original nature beyond our conditioned mental patterns. In the final step of Kowu process, we make a commitment to bring our original nature into our daily lives. You might say that our original nature is our Shen, or our spirit, a vast part of who we are. Bringing our original nature into daily life then means we manifest this higher aspect of ourselves into our thoughts, words, and deeds. So I hope you enjoyed this Kowu presentation. You can use some of the Kowu processes in your daily life to help you resolve and clear blockages and become closer to your original nature.